last two, both on the road. The Norse look to bounce back tonight in the friendly confines of beautiful BB&T Arena. Horizon League hoops, it's Oakland and Northern Kentucky. Coming up next on Spectrum Sports. BB&T Arena, nestled just off the Ohio River in Highland Heights, Kentucky, as the heart of the Horizon League hoop schedule gets going. It's two old foes from their Division II days. Northern Kentucky welcoming Oakland here tonight on Spectrum Sports. And with that, we say hello, Neil Sika, Dave Sakuti, here to have some fun. Dave, both these teams, they like where they're at right now, but both have lost their last two games, trying to swing it around as they get back, looking to get towards the top of the conference.
Well, Neil, when you think of Oakland, one thing for Coach Greg Campy is they're not used to really losing at their home floor. They lost two in a row. The good thing about that, they're a great road team. They play terrific on the road. We'll see. For John Brennan's Northern Kentucky Norse, he likes where they're at right now. This program in his second season is exactly where he wants them. Tonight will be one of the biggest tests they have here in this arena.
Dave, let's talk more about these Golden Grizzlies. Uncharacteristic to lose two straight home games, shooting poorly. That's the problem. 19% from three the last three games.
Well, when you're not shooting the ball well, no team really plays well. More importantly, I think Greg Campy would like his team to adjust a little bit. He's had a couple days to think about the losses. He'll be ready to go.
Guy who hasn't had trouble scoring, that's the big 6'7" guy from Lansing, Jalen Hayes, monster homestands.
Well, one thing he can do, he can rebound with the best of them. He's a good scorer. Remember this, last time they met back on December 31st, he came away with 18 points and 8 rebounds in that big win. He's a key factor in this ball game tonight.
The friendly confines of the home arena for Northern Kentucky. They played 4 games in 8 days, lost their last 2 on the Wisconsin swing, but they're still in a pretty good place as they try to win and compete on a regular level with a very young group.
Well, one of the keys for John Brennan's basketball team, he's had an 8-day layoff. How do you adjust? Are you going to come out a little rusty, take a little time to get it going? That'll be a key factor. The 4 games in 8 days really plays into the fatigue factor. They should be fresh tonight.
It's just their 5th season in Division I, a cornerstone of this new era of Norse basketball, a double-double machine, a local guy, Drew McDonald.
Well, here's what I love about Drew McDonald. A high basketball IQ. Not the best athlete on the floor. He's a wise player. He knows to be in right position. He can step out and hit a 3, shooting close to 45% from that range. They have to make sure they're guarding him on the inside and the outside.
They've met once already this season. Oakland won by 11 on New Year's Eve. Rematch with lineups and tips coming up next. Take on Northern Kentucky here on this Friday night at BB&T Arena. Golden Grizzlies are 14-5. They're 4-2 in the conference. They started 4-0. Brock returns. He has been a sensational freshman. Hayes has been scoring well, but it's Walker and Dorsey Walker, who played together in high school and transferred from big level programs, that carry the mail in terms of the scoring. Greg Campy, 3rd longest tenured head coach in Division I, behind 2 pretty popular names, Boeheim, Krzyzewski. His 550th win of the 572 came against the Norse. Speaking of the home club, at 12-7, 3-3 after losing both on the road at Green Bay and Milwaukee. They're tied for 5th in the Horizon League. McDonald, Conference Player of the Week twice. Murray can shoot it from the outside. It's Holland who's 3rd in the conference in assists. It makes for a very intriguing matchup because this is the best shooting team in the conference in terms of field goal percentage, going up against the best field goal percentage defense. John Brandon knows that. 6 years at Alabama, 2 as the associate head coach there, 1 as the interim head man. 1 fine scorer at Marshall and Morehead State, and now he's got this young crop of players starting to perform very well after their end of reclassification. They can compete in postseason basketball now at the Division I level. DC Arkeys.
Well, a couple things I think you really have to think about for Oakland. And we talked to Greg Campy this afternoon in the shoot-around. They need to be a little more aggressive. They need to attack the rim. They really don't have a shot blocker for Northern Kentucky. That's his stop there. More importantly, when you lose 2 at home, you lose your swagger a little bit. Your confidence wavers. You have to get that back. You don't have much time. You got to come out of this shoot well. Northern Kentucky, I think the aggressive mindset is going to be important. And we're talking about all over the floor at both ends. I think one key thing to watch in this basketball game, Neil, will be see how they defend the interior. Because Oakland's going to try to go inside. They're not shooting it well from the outside. You got to make sure you get the ball on the inside, and you got to defend that spot.
It's an athletic Oakland team. They were preseason number 2 in the conference. There you see they sit tied for 3rd with UIC after losing their last 2 at home, including the rivalry game against Detroit Mercy, who will come into this building on Sunday. Valpo and Green Bay leading the way, and Northern Kentucky right in the mix, tied for 5th with Wright State. Good crowd on hand. This series goes back to 1977. They met when they were both in Division II. Oakland's won the last 2 meetings. They split with each team winning on others' home floor. Last year, Oakland won on New Year's Eve at the O-Arena. We're underway with the tap controlled by the Golden Grizzlies, and Braylon Neely starting at the point. Stevie Clark, the transfer from Oklahoma State, dealing with a wrist injury he suffered in the Cleveland State game. So it's Neely here handling the ball and feeding Hayes, who goes right to the hole and scores.
A little isolation to the left side. Remember now, Neely's only a freshman out of Detroit. The question is, how will he handle in the pressure situations?
Holland came in from Coffeyville Community College out of Kansas last year. He is a stat stuffer, 3rd in the conference in assists. On the block to McDonald, who faces the double. On the step through, swiped, and into the hands of Williams. Sparkling looking freshman is Garnett for 3, and that's off. Dorsey Walker, he can run some point too. You want to get Martez Walker, who's their leading scorer, back on track. He'll miss with his first effort.
One of the key matchups to watch for is you see Garnett take it strong to the baseline. Will be Hayes on McDonald. How about the feed into the post?
And the cut by Williams, +1.
You know, we talk about being good interior passing teams. This is what you get from McDonald. The ability to keep his head up, deliver the pass, a strong finish by Carson Williams.
Kentucky's Mr. Basketball last year, where he averaged 26 points a game. Part of that fantastic recruiting class coming into John Brannon's 2nd year. And Williams converting the 3-point play. He's played above the level of a freshman as he starts for the 20th time tonight.
Well, we expected a little full court pressure from Northern Kentucky. Just to take some time off of that shot clock. Offensively, good balance for this basketball team from Oakland. Greg Campy would love to have balanced scoring. Sometimes guys step up, and right now it's Neely going short on the shot clock.
With his first career start, it hits 3. It's Isaiah Brock, the freshman. It's a great story in his own right. A military veteran, missed on the jumper. Williams, nice spin, left it shy. Neely, an open Hayes, took his eyes off of it, and it slips away back to Northern Kentucky.
The Golden Grizzlies at the offensive end really handle the ball pretty well. Only averaging about 13 turnovers a game, but in the last 2 losses at home, that number really rose, and that's one thing Greg Campy is concerned about.
Played on Monday, MLK Day, and said, throw out the tape, Greg Campy. We were still trying to get over the Detroit loss all the way in. It's Dorsey Walker. He played his first 2 years at Iowa State. He's a star at Pershing High School up in Detroit. Oakland back in front 4-3. McDonald. Through a crowd, Brock bothered it. And now Dorsey Walker on the attack. And a push.
Obviously, at this end of the floor, McDonald's going to draw a lot of attention from the black jerseys right there. The first possession of the game, he got a double team, that time almost a triple team. So they respect his ability to score, and they're going to make sure they shadow him all night long.
And the lob inside to Walker. His rookie year at Texas. 3 minutes in. Oakland by 1. Neely around the high screen. Martez Walker. That was bothered by Drew McDonald. This Northern Kentucky team, excellent rebounding basketball team, having not all the size. The patience of Williams, counted again. Good feed from Holland.
Well, the one thing about Carson Williams, 6'5", 230 pounds. He's got the ability to use his body control. Not the best athlete on the floor when you look at him, but he'll surprise you a little bit, Neil. Very good athlete, the ability to score at the basket, one of his strong suits.
See, Brock sits. He did not play against Cleveland State. Dealing with a hip injury as Williams knocks in the free throw. He's got all 6 Norse points. 2-time freshman of the week. Sensational season for Carson Williams. Brechting has come on. He started the first game, first 4 in the last 1. And in relief, will put it home. Now off a turnover, a 2-on-1. The lob to Walker.
Nice little pass there from Holland. Head up in transition, a little 2-on-1. You're working on it every day in practice. And that time they executed to perfection.
Golden Grizzlies by 2. Bothered at the rim again, and Walker to the air.
That's how you get your swagger back. You get transition basket, easy scores, very efficient at the offensive end. Dorsey Walker for another strong finish.
Attacking the rim like he hates it. Dorsey Walker and the Golden Grizzlies on 3 straight runouts. And they push it to 6. You know, the early going here at Northern Kentucky. Kentucky, they lead the conference, Dave, in blocks and steals. They've used that to get on the run to 8 fast break points in this 6-point lead.
Well, you know, Neil, sometimes when your offense is struggling like it did 2 games last week for Oakland, you let your defense kind of create some offense for you, and that's what Coach Campy has preached here in the last couple days. Let's get up defensively, be aggressive, come up with some loose balls, but score in transition.
Freshman Mason Faulkner has come on for Levon Holland. Garnett, Murray, McDonald, and Williams on the floor. Williams has all 6 points. He has the ball now. McDonald rims off a 3. Oakland did fantastic defensively, running the Norse off the 3-point line in that win on New Year's Eve. And Dorsey Walker is having his way, taking it to the glass.
Well, the Detroit native has taken it upon himself. The senior on this basketball team is going to lead by example. He's done that thus far.
Lead is 8. Williams is stripped down low by Hayes. And leaves it off for Dorsey Walker. He's got 6. Neely for 3, yes.
That's what you need. You're a freshman, your point guard. Replacing an injured Stevie Clark in the lineup, knocks down his first 3 of the evening.
It's an 11-0 run for Oakland. Greg Campy spoke of adversity. This is the first time we faced it this year. How will we respond? He's got the answer in a big way early going. Faulkner got the runner. And he has the steal, but couldn't complete it. Faulkner's been playing very well as of late. Double figures in 3 of his last 5. I'd love to have that last attempt back, and the foul is out on the floor. Excellent veteran officiating crew here tonight.
Well, again, here's the move, but more importantly, he got the finish, but watch the little clever, little savvy move right there to come up with the steal. Couldn't get the finish, but it sure gets you the attention of Coach Greg Campy and the Golden Grizzlies. You mentioned the officiating crew. Big-time crew here tonight. Friday night, good crowd in this building. You know, on paper, this is a terrific matchup I think everybody was looking forward to. Right now, the Grizzlies are getting the best of them. But you're at home. If you're Northern Kentucky, you'll find a way to get yourself back in it.
See the disparity with the points in the paint. Hayes going strong. Defended well. That's blast off of Brennan Gillis, a sophomore from Indianapolis. Such a young Northern Kentucky team, just 2 seniors and a junior.
Good look at John Brennan. We talked about the ability to not only get his team in a position to win games, but the recruiting factor has been a big factor for this basketball program.
Brad Brechting didn't recognize that shot clock and a violation. And a hot Greg Campy for the first time tonight. Brechting has a couple off the bench.
See right here, good ball movement, had to cast it up there in the last split second. You mentioned Coach Campy, it's almost a contrast in styles. To our left, John Brennan, more of a conservative coach. Trust me, at the right side with Greg Campy, animated all night long.
And that throw offline. And a Northern Kentucky turnover. Actually, we're going to get a foul inside the elbow of Brennan Gillis, his first.
Full court pressure here from Northern Kentucky. Trying again just to use a little time.
This is where they feel comfortable. Despite not having Stevie Clark, Dorsey Walker can handle. And then do that from 15. Phenomenal start for Sharon Dorsey Walker. Got 8.
Also one of the top assist guys on this basketball team. But how about the move to the basket?
Williams crashing on the Garrett Jr. run to the glass.
Here's the drive to the baseline this side. Little acrobatic move, didn't get it to go. But who's there to clean it up? Number 23, Carson Williams.
Foul on Brad Brechting. Williams has 7 so far in the early going. Mentioned 2-time freshman of the week. As Murray sits. It's a big component of their offense at the 3-point line, but trying to take him out of it early. Williams averaging 11 a game. 9th in the conference, 2 in rebounds, which is gobbled up by Garrett. Nearly threw it away. Faulkner. There's Holland. Faulkner. Off on the 3. Daniels quickly to grab the loose ball. And Dorsey Walker finding the 6'7" Hayes.
Good patience here from the Golden Grizzlies. Had an opportunity to take maybe a bad shot. They backed it out. Going to try to get a better one right now. Only 10 on the shot clock.
Lead is 10. And off the ball movement, the 3 is off. Walker, the rebound, the finish. 6 for Martez Walker. The top 2 scorers are having a solid first 7.5 minutes for Oakland. A block down low on Brechting. A second foul on him.
You can expect Dorsey Walker and also Martez Walker. Both of these guys are averaging close to 31, 32 minutes during the course of the season. There's the finish by number 35. Folks, keep your eye on that one, but also keep your eye on the Oakland Grizzlies number 30. Dorsey Walker off to a great start here this evening.
See Xavier Hill-Mays from Greensboro, North Carolina, about to check in. It'll have to wait until this free throw by Jeff Garrett. Went to Alabama his freshman year, redshirted, then transferred, sat out last season. Brock and Hill-Mays return, so does McDonald for the home club.
Both of these teams will go deep into the bench. Northern Kentucky may play an extra player or 2, probably go maybe 10 deep. Coach Greg Campy will try to stay right about that 9-player limit.
They pick up full court as Garrett splits the pair. Martez Walker averaging 17 a game. The corner 3 is off the mark, and then Holland is holding on the bigger Hill-Mays down low.
Oh, great position by Hill-Mays. He knew that shot was coming from that right side. He positioned himself in a great spot there to draw the foul. An opportunity here with that out-of-bounds play. They worked on this extensively in the shoot-around today.
Walker. So the focus was his defense when he shut down Alec Peters in their big win over Valpo, but he's showing he's got the scoring touch tonight. First to double figures with 11, and the lead is 14. Murray's open. Dorsey Walker collects. Unconscious. Sharon Dorsey Walker has 14 points. It's 27-10. An open Faulkner. The bank is open on Friday night, Dave.
Well, we saw that one. That angle was right in front of our broadcast area. It looked like it was going to go off, and I know he didn't try to bank it, but hey, it counts anyway. They needed a basket.
Dorsey Walker's hit the last two from three. It's 37% from out there. Hill Mays, too tall. And now Nick Daniels. Good shooter in his own right, going through a little slump. Has to hustle to get it on the over and back, but Oakland imposing their will in the early going. And Dorsey Walker is doing it up. For a two-game losing streak, so you take your senior leader, Sharon Dorsey Walker, 14 points, hasn't missed from the field, Dave.
Well, when you think about it, he's playing with a sense of urgency. And I think there's a carryover from last week because the two games they lost, it didn't seem like they were in sync. Dorsey Walker, the senior on this team, he's the leader. Both on the floor, vocally, he's trying to get this team to play at a high level. And thus far, they've gotten it done, creating this 14-point margin, putting the Northern Kentucky Norse back on their heels.
He's been a streaky scorer throughout his career. With double figures now in 6 of the last 10. That's the wheelhouse for Cole Murray, who's leading the conference in three-pointers made. Big one to cut it to 11. Brandon Maxwell is on for Northern Kentucky. He is the son of Mad Max, Vernon Maxwell, defending Dorsey Walker. And the high throw from Daniels, and a turnover. Faulkner, the freshman. Yes.
Excellent transition offense to the basket with the basketball. They have a charge call right now, a little out of control. You're not going to get that call. More than likely. But here's the transition. Pushing it right off the glass. Good finish.
Scored in double figures 3 of the last 5, Faulkner. He was a big scorer in high school, 36 points a game. And finished in the top 4 for Kentucky Mr. Basketball. That's part of that electric freshman class. A 5-0 spurt for the Norse. They're trailing by 14.
You know, early on, I really thought the Norse had a little rhythm. They got away from it there for about a 5-7 minute span, but they've gotten it back right now. That rhythm's back into that offense, both transition and also in the half court.
A foul on Isaiah Brock. Such a huge component of their defense, but in foul trouble here tonight. It says something, Dave, when you're taking a freshman who's averaging 2 blocks a game, you're architecting the defense around him.
Well, you know, that's part of that challenge you have as a head basketball coach, trying to find out defensively what's going to work best for your basketball team. In Brock, he's going to get a little stronger, as you mentioned, just a young player, a little out of control right there from Dorsey Walker. So I think that's the challenge right now for Dorsey Walker.
What a crossover, Holland. But couldn't.
My point being, sometimes when you really get off to a good start and you're scoring in volumes, all of a sudden you think, hey, I can get more. Instead of maybe slowing down, make sure you get other players involved, but give John Brandon and his basketball team, they're doing a better job defensively on him to kind of shut him down.
Holland couldn't control the contact, but that's because Neely moved in late. So Holland to the line. That's 7 fouls on Oakland. So Lamont Holland, a 70% free throw shooter. Gets to the line, trying to continue to slash into this Oakland advantage. Dorsey Walker, the board. Here's the Detroit Western product, Neely. Started at the point tonight for Stevie Clark. Hayes on the block. Neely. Thought he had his second one down. McDonald comes up with the ball. Maxwell, they're working on him on that offensive game, try and find more comfort.
This is their 5-out look offensively. Got a good look at the basket right there. Big shot goes down for Maxwell.
That's how you reward the coaching staff. You knocked out an open look. And the lead is down to 6. 8-0 Northern Kentucky run. It's last off of Holland, they say, as Neely trying to come through the middle.
You know, again, we talk about offensively sometimes what you need to do. And right now, Neely, it's got to be aggressive, but you got to make sure you take care of the basketball. How about the little feed in there? Dorsey, Walker, but a nice little feed there from the freshman.
A game high 16. So just points past the midpoint of the first half. And season best 27. Faulkner hanging in the air, never let it go, and traveled.
Coach Campy loves to coach. Been doing this for a long time. Had a wonderful conversation with him this afternoon. Of course, he's been with this Oakland University team for 33 years. 39th season overall coaching the game of basketball.
4 decades of stability. Summit League Coach of the Year 4 times. Hayes on the good leave off, down low by Neely.
Nice job by Jalen Hayes of finding the open gap there. Nice pass from Neely. Neely gaining confidence as this game unfolds.
Back to double figures, 10-point cushion. Elandizio on for Oakland. McDonald, the offensive board. Pretty reverse.
Nice move by McDonald, who went a little quiet there for about a 5-6 minute span. Got himself, and there's again a careless turnover for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. A strong finish.
The theft by Holland, couldn't complete it. And free throws coming as we hit the under 8. Oakland ran out to the big lead. Northern Kentucky pushing back. And the home faithful watching their Norse get back into it after trailing by as many as 14, shaving it to 8.
All ages here, partner. All ages in this building tonight.
Get them involved early, partner. That's the philosophy.
You know, one thing to kind of take grasp of right now, we knew Oakland struggled in their 2 home losses. I know we've been wearing that out. They didn't shoot it well at all. Tonight, fighting back right now, shooting close to 67% from the field. But Neil, a lot of them have come on transition, easy baskets, being aggressive to the basket, and that's what you have to do if you're going to win games on the road.
To your point, 20 points in the paint as Holland hits the first free throw. And knocks in the second. Really shot it well down the stretch last season. The Northern Kentucky team that won 9 games, 5th year in Division I. The reclassification period is over. They can play in postseason basketball, which Oakland is very familiar with over the last decade. Neely got bumped. They made the finals of the Vegas 16, that inaugural postseason tournament last year.
Well, you see right there the contact with the right knee there. You know, one thing Coach Campy has done with Neely, especially when he's got Dorsey Walker in the game, he's letting Dorsey Walker handle the ball at the point, get Neely to the wing, not to keep the pressure on him to handle the basketball. I think that's a great move by Coach Greg Campy.
Dorsey Walker in the state championship at Pershing High. Outside of Detroit, that's pretty on the pass and the touch from Hayes.
Exactly right. Good look into the post.
McDonald just 2 points. Defense is As this conference season continues, starting to take him away, or trying to. Pass inside, looking for Williams from Garnett, is stolen. Alambizio, Dorsey, Walker.
How about that look right there?
Garnett got the block. Faulkner. Murray to spot it up. Yep.
Couldn't find anybody in transition. If you're Oakland, it's that young man right there who just buried that three from deep. Cole Murray, a senior out of Indiana.
Gonna hit the top 10 in three-pointers made in school history in just a couple of games. He's first in the conference in that category. Neely trying to show the step-back component of his game. It's short, and it's last off of Hayes.
Well, there's the good look right there, but a better block from Garnett from behind right there. But how about Murray? Deep outside that three-point arc. As you mentioned, Neil, one of the best shooters in this conference. Can nail him from anywhere on the floor.
Williams forced it. Lucky to get it back. Faulkner. Too much. Trying to cut into that 5-point advantage. It once was 14 for Oakland. Good first half. We're under 6.
Good patience here from Oakland. Get it into what they call their zipper look right here. A little post rub coming up from the baseline. But now they're running short on the shot clock, down to 7.
Dorsey, Walker got the call on the freshman Faulkner.
What's been impressive about Dorsey Walker, and I know he's listed at 6'4", but he plays a lot bigger than that. He's long, athletic, great wingspan. He can get to the basket and has the ability to kind of shoot over people. And that's what this young man has done. Having a big night right now, leading the show, making sure, again, that sense of urgency to come back from the 2 losses from what we talked about with Greg Campy to get this basketball team back on track.
77% from the line this year. Played in 20 games as a freshman at Iowa State. Then 3 as sophomore year before leaving in January and coming home. Splits the pair. Lead at 6. Murray's hit 2 threes. McDonald trying to go to work. Interrupted first on the floor.
You know, we talked about that Monday night game against Cleveland State that Oakland played, and Coach Campy was the first to admit, played with zero energy, did not do anything that really kind of reflected what his team is all about. And that's what you have to do. You have to find ways to win. When Coach Campy said in his post game, he said the best highlight of the evening was the violin player who played the national anthem. You know what practice was like the next couple days. Trust me on that one.
Well, Rob Edwards had a typical Rob Edwards scoring game for the Vikings. Cleveland State, they're a young team, and of course they were hurt by that graduate transfer rule a couple of years ago, but can sneak up with you because they play good defense. But nowhere near acceptable on Oakland's behalf after a 9-point halftime lead against their rival Detroit Mercy slipped away on Friday night. Still shell-shocked from that.
Well, Detroit Mercy is one of those basketball teams you have to keep your eye on because they're very talented and they can explode at any minute. We'll have a chance to see them come Sunday afternoon here.
McDonald the steal, and how about rising high, Garnett? It's down to 2.
Well, Coach John Brennan talked about him. He can impact the game in a hurry. That time we saw a good idea of what he can do, especially in transition.
Talking about him last year, he mentioned he's the prototypical athlete we want for this program.
You know, I think at this level, you try to find a player of his caliber, size-wise. You got him about 6'4", 6'5". That 3-man is a critical element in this type of basketball in the Horizon League and some of those other conferences here across the state of Ohio.
That's crafty from Williams. They've come all the way back from 14 points down And we're all equal at 34. A 21-7 run over the last 5 minutes. Faulkner a steal for the lead. Williams on the glass.
That's what you try to do. Be in position. He's done it all night long. After the missed shot, Carson Williams cleaning up the act, finishing strong at the basket.
Well, the Norse faithful come to life. Dorsey Walker off. Faulkner traveled. But what a stretch for John Brannon's Norse. And it's Garnett with the exclamation point on the big run. Kentucky run of 23-7 over the last 7:41. Partner, how have they done it?
Well, one thing you have to do if you're Oakland is get back at the defensive end of the floor. They're giving away too many easy baskets. But Carson Williams has found a way to get the second and the third opportunities to help this Norse team score. You see the points in the paint, 16. John Brannon's got to be happy in terms of what he's getting on the interior. We talked about one of the keys. He wanted the aggressive mindset. That's him and Terry Weimer have a little discussion. Who knows what the coaches and the officials are talking about. I know they're not exchanging pleasantries. I know that.
See their first lead
or something, right?
First lead since early on. I'm saying this is a little out of character for you Friday night. Well, working Big Ten. Terry Weimer, of course, is been a part of 2 Final Four national semifinals, 13 and 14. And that pass tapped away. First lead since 6-4. Points in the paint, 16, and they're led by Carson Williams, who has 11, this freshman phenom. The Norse by 2, with 3.5 remaining. Teams in the top 5 of the conference. Important one here on the Horizon League tonight. Brechting, good position, missed it.
Kind of fumbled the ball a little bit, didn't get his feet set, but there's Carson Williams. How about the little reverse layup with the right hand off of the glass? Well, their defense has been good thus far. Northern Kentucky, especially on Dorsey Walker, they've taken him out of here in the last 5 or 6 minutes. He was on that streaky run, scoring in volumes. The left-hander got a shot off there. Norse coming up with a loose ball.
Strong on that triple try, and Murray gives to Faulkner. This freshman playing with a lot of poise and confidence. Faulkner and Williams. Williams has 13. I wouldn't say he's cutting the mold of Drew McDonald, Dave, but you've got to be impressed just his intelligence around the basket.
I mean,
how he attacks the rim, grabs rebounds.
I mean, you can add that to your resume package and make a difference. Got a little cut over the eye of Carson Williams right there. Terry Weimer going to set him over. And normally right now they give you a chance to clean that up. Trainer's going to go to work on him. If they can get it cleaned up, they'll bring him right back in. If they can't, John Brannon's going to have to make that substitution to keep this game in the flow.
Got 5 rebounds to go with his 13 points. In terms of rebounding margin, this is not a very big team, but they're the best team right now in the conference to do so. You can see he's still leaking a bit just outside that left eye.
Well, we expected a physical game. On paper, we mentioned it, should be a terrific matchup. Has not disappointed thus far.
Williams. Garnett, the big jam. McDonald. Tough shot over 2. Last off the Norse.
That's a tough shot for Drew McDonald. That's not his game right there. His game is making sure that he's set in a position. But let's give Oakland some credit right now on Drew McDonald. They've held him in check thus far.
It's been the freshmen Williams and Faulkner who have picked up the slack. They have 20 of the 38 points. As this run continues for the Norse, 25-7 over the last 8 minutes plus. That's ahead at the half. Well, this program is starting to surge under John Brannon. here from Spectrum Sports Harrison Sanford. Look at the defense by Garnett. Brechting. Out there, Brock has been in foul trouble with 3. Here's Daniels. He's been ice cold as of late from beyond the arc. That's what they need him to do to contribute. Dorsey, Walker. He is cooled as well. McDonald hustles to get it down in the corner. Under 2 remaining. Faulkner pushing.
Good
McDonald saved it.
Great tip back by Drew McDonald. Got an opportunity there for that 3 as well.
Hayes the rebound. Sharon Dorsey Walker wants to up the tempo. 90 seconds remain. Walker on the drive. It was clean. Hayes and took the foul from Garnett. Hayes working hard. Excellent rebounder in his own right. 6th in the conference. Kept that possession alive.
Well, one of the concerns for Oakland in the half court, once that shot clock gets down, and you'll see the activity, Jalen Hayes coming up. But my point is this, late in the shot clock, who do you go to if you're Oakland right now? Of course, Dorsey Walker's having the type of night you think you can go with him. I think not having Stevie Clark in the lineup hurts them a little bit as well. The junior point guard at 5'11" had the ability to create when the shot clock got low. But that's going to be a key factor for this basketball team down the stretch.
Dorsey Walker started 6 of 6. Just 1 for his last 4. Here's Hayes. Really had nice games against Detroit Mercy and Cleveland State. 28 against the Titans. Garrett, the sophomore transfer, comes back on the floor for Garnett. Brechting sits. David Cumberland has come on for Oakland. The sophomore is about an hour from here, from Wilmington, Ohio. Giving some minutes here late in the first half. Lead is 2 for the Norse. So Hayes hits the free throws.
I'm sure John Brennan would like to see a good offensive set right here. Take a little time off this shot clock. Get a good opportunity for a score.
Faulkner, good read.
Gotta be happy with that. Faulkner got himself right to the basket. Got a little pep in his step right now at the defensive end as well.
Freshman helping lead the way for Northern Kentucky. They're up by 4 with 40 seconds remaining here on the first half. Walker. Coming quiet, looking for a shot on the perimeter. 5 on the shot clock. Good ball fake, Neely. Off the mark on the 15-footer. Faulkner's recognition. Garrett. Look at the tap in by Williams. Boy, he's everywhere, isn't he?
That's his game. That's when you find minutes for one of your players, when he can do things like that. A big contributor to this basketball team.
Up to 6. Hayes at the horn. Cuts it to 4, but a 29-11 stretch for the Norse of Northern Kentucky. And they sent Oakland to a halftime deficit for just the 4th time this season. It's the Norse by 4 at the break. We're plus 18 over the last 11 minutes and 15 seconds of that first half. Coach C, and we look at the leading scorers. Dorsey Walker just 3 points over the last 10 minutes. Carson Williams now double figures in 9 of his last 10. Well, Coach C, both coaches, what are they discussing with their clubs?
Well, Coach Campy at Oakland, he's telling them, you know, when we get down short on the shot clock, you're going to have to find a way. Someone's going to have to step up and score a little bit for us, and don't rely upon the outside shot. Northern Kentucky, I think defensively, the reason they closed that space on the scoreboard was they had the ability to defensively get up on Oakland and force some turnovers.
Inside, Holland scores the first 2 of the second half. He's got 4. Gotten word that Xavier Hill-Mays is injured and will not return. So that digs into the post step. With Brock playing with 3 fouls. I got this guy though, Hayes. Walker around on a 3, well off. And the box out by Williams. Good body position. Goes back to the Norse.
You know, one thing to watch right now for Oakland, and we talk about it all night long, do they have the swagger and the confidence when things are getting tough? And they're getting tough right now for this basketball team. Do they have the ability to step up, find a way? That time defensively did a nice job, a little push out. Strong to the basket. Strong to the basket.
Great find by Hayes after Walker had the ball. Well, Walker gets loose. The Golden Grizzlies leading scorer. Up to 8. 44-40. McDonald drawing 2. Garnett had that big jam.
Little high-low pass there to Carson Williams.
He is so tough inside.
You know,
go to the line.
The ability sometimes. Well, here's the look right here, and that was the block shot. And then the push out at that end, but I don't think we're going to see the next play. We're going to see Carson Williams at the free throw line, Neil. But, you know, you're talking about having the size and the ability as a body. You can throw yourself into players, and you have enough finesse to take the contact and finish strong.
Missed the free throw. Hayes rebounds. So Brock in foul trouble. Hill-Mays injured. Already playing without Stevie Clark, a depleted bench. Dorsey Walker carrying the mail for much of that first half. His team down 6.
And there's that shot clock again. Who's going to take it? That time, good finish at the basket.
It's Daniels. Perhaps that'll get him going. The good look inside because he's been struggling with the jumper.
Northern Kentucky has gotten that rhythm back offensively. Good ball movement, ball screens, a lot of movement. Good look at the basket.
Holland off on the 3. Hayes with one hand corrals it. Sharon, Dorsey Walker, Brechting, and 1.
Well, here's your big fella onside. How about the post feed though? And again, the ability, that's just size and strength. When we talked to Coach Campy, he talked about this young man, only a sophomore, continuing to get better. As you mentioned, Neil, he had that start against Cleveland State back on Monday night.
Third the first 4, and they were in a similar situation against Valpo. He played an excellent last 5 minutes just in terms of his defense and floor presence, just like that. Distracting that Williams effort. There's Dorsey Walker. Daniels. And Walker in the corner. Too much. Garnett. Close quarters with Williams. Holland steps into a 3. Yep.
He did a nice job getting back defensively. The problem was the trailer. He's the one that stepped up Holland to knock it down from long range.
Holland adding, pushing the lead back to 4. Daniels is 1 for his last 10 from 3. McDonald the board.
And the one player we talked about early on, Jalen Hayes, one of the top players in the Horizon League, hasn't touched the ball much. He's been trying to get in the post-up situation. At that time, Jordan Garnett out of Warren Central in Indianapolis. Impact player, scoring big right now for the Norse. Good battle on the inside. Jalen Hayes and Carson Williams.
Back it out to Dorsey Walker. 7 on the shot clock. Down to 3. Tough fadeaway. Hayes on the offensive glass and then threw it away. Here's Holland, he wants to run. contortioning himself in air before Walker got him on the wrist. And Northern Kentucky takes a 6-point advantage to our first media timeout in this second half. His defense has been on notice, so much so that Greg Campy has helped build that front line around him. But getting a late start, serving in Afghanistan and Kuwait out of high school. Army Accommodation Medal. The poise of that young man, and that's part of the reason they've given him the keys to the defense. Greg Campy has built a lot of the defense around him, although he's got in early foul trouble tonight. Holland missing the first free throw.
It's a great experience for that young man in Brock. You think about that military background and the experience that he gathered from that, the maturity that you find out about yourself, I'm sure.
Back and forth affair to begin the second half. The cushion is 6 for the Norse.
Both teams have stuck with that man-to-man defense the entire evening.
There's the Ohioan, Cumberland. He slipped. Correcting, 7 on the shot clock. Walker must do something. He'll stop because a foul is on Cole Murray. Second.
Right now, Oakland's trying to find a way to manufacture some points at the offensive end. If it's not in transition offense, they're having a tough time even entering the ball on the out-of-bounds play right now. Jalen Hayes, strong move to the basket. There's the big fella finishing it up.
But he can't complete it. Garnett. Holland, McDonald, Murray, and Williams. He and Dorsey Walker. The game high 17 points. The freshman going to work in the post.
Shot clock going low right now. Big defensive possession right now for Oakland. Can't afford to let the Norse extend this lead. Drew McDonald's going to have a little something to say about that.
He's got part of that, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Back it goes to Oakland. Here's Faulkner, very effective in that first half for Northern Kentucky as Holland sits. He's hit a couple of field goals here to begin the second half. Faulkner 9 points off that Oakland bench in the opening 20 minutes.
When you think about it right now, excuse me, Neil, but for the offensively, there's that high-low they've been trying to get to all night. Nice pass by Breckland to get it in there to Jalen Hayes, but it's still a little out of a lineup right now for Greg Campy, and it takes you out of rhythm a little bit. Not a true point guard on the floor right now.
Hayes, the second Grizzly into double figures with 10. Lead down to 4. McDonald trying to slice through the double team as Brechting came over. He's going to get called for the foul. That's his third.
Well, there's the drive by McDonald. We talked about only 4 points in this basketball game, but has really found different ways to play. Has gotten 9 rebounds as well thus far. He's going to take a little breather right now as they approach that media timeout.
Only 4 points for Drew McDonald. This will stay with Northern Kentucky as Gillis replacing him. Brechting with 3.
On the floor right there. I'm not sure what it is. Probably just perspiration on the floor. A little different here this time of year, Neil. We got about 60 degrees running outside.
It's beautiful. It's balmy. You see Brock 4, Brechting 3. Of course, rain, sleet, snow, that doesn't bother you. You're the busiest man in the state this time of the year.
Oh, good. Just trying to get from point A to point B.
You'll be at point B tomorrow and then back to point A on Sunday.
You got that right.
6 minutes gone here in half number 2. Norse lead is 4. Faulkner, good pass. Too much mustard from Williams.
See what the Grizzlies can get going right now. Offensively. A little penetration. That always helps. Couldn't finish.
Walker's game, he's a slasher. There is a foul. He had 21 points in the victory back on New Year's Eve. at the arena.
You're going to see right here, we talked about being aggressive to the basket. Not really a rim protector for Northern Kentucky, so Coach Campy was talking to us this morning about the ability just to be aggressive, get it to the rim, take your chances when you do that.
Third team foul, both teams with 3. We're not quite at the midpoint of half number 2. Final game of the season series. And an important one. 2 of the top 5 teams in the conference. Actually, Walker quiet over the last 16 minutes until that.
Well, he had to squeeze that one in. But again, the ball's stagnant right now. It's getting stuck on one side of the floor, a lot of dribbling going on. Still trying to find a little rhythm at the offensive end for Oakland. Down at this end, good movement right now from Northern Kentucky.
It's down to 1 possession. Faulkner, air ball, thought he was fouled. Into the hands of Dorsey Walker. The theft by Garnett. Look out.
Points off turnovers. Drives coaches crazy. Coach Campy going crazy right now, trying to find a way to get his basketball team to hold steady right here at the offensive end.
And we're going the other way. On a foul inside, an elbow from Hayes. Second dunk tonight for Garnett.
Now coming right at you. Center cut. Garnett. Good look at Coach Campy. He's had conversations with everybody tonight, even with us. Neil over here on the sideline.
That was so kind of him to come over.
Absolutely.
Well, it's that Hill Mays was injured. Good defense at the rim, Brechting and Hayes. Denying Williams.
Neely, the freshman. Coach Campy getting him to the scores table in a hurry right there.
Cumberland, strong on the 3. Garrett bats it around and finally scoops it up.
Faulkner with a good look right there. Keeping his head up. A lot of freshmen, a lot of young players on both of these squads. And you would think at this point we're halfway through the college basketball season. The maturity and the experience factor eliminates that factor of being a freshman.
Well, you love it. Play the kids, too. They've got talent. 2 freshmen, 3 sophomores for Northern Kentucky. And the alpha dog, essentially this team, McDonald, is going to go to the line when we come back off that dribble drive. Garnett, 2 more on the stuff. Norse by 4.
Sidelines and Greg Campy. Amazing, and he gains respect. He's been doing this for a long time, but himself and Bill Eck had a nice conversation. Terry Weimer came over. A passionate coach, loves the game of basketball. I don't think he talked to his team during that whole media timeout. He had more conversations going out there, but let me tell you something, guys. His players love him. They love playing for him. He has earned the respect being around this game for a long, long time and has done most of the work there at Oakland University.
McDonald at the line, misses the first free throw. Those are just catch-up conversations.
But you know
when
what?
You're 4 decades into your coaching career,
and
right?
I coached for a long time, yeah, you know that. But you know what? Basketball officials, they are much better than fans give them credit for and coaches give them credit for. I mean, they work hard. They do the best possible job they can. And it's a difficult game to officiate, but sometimes they just don't get the credit they deserve.
100%. 71%. That was McDonald's free throw percentage, but he's missed them both. Lead remains 4 for Northern Kentucky. Daniels, Neely, smaller backcourt with Brechting and Hayes. The size of the front court. Brechting off the bench. Yeah, it's giving him valuable minutes.
I love that offensive set right there. Neely at the top of the key, instead of going to the wing for the post feed, went right from the top of the key. Big fella was in there, posting up, creating some space, the opportunity to score, cutting that lead to 2.
He's got 7. We're playing with 3 fouls. Brock has 4. Xavier Hill Mays the rest of the way. McDonald going to work. The touch not there. Just has 4 points tonight. Chance to tie or take the lead for Oakland. Hasn't been the case since about 5 minutes remaining in that first half. So Brock will come back on with 4 fouls. Williams will sit. Murray, Holland, Faulkner return.
Well, just good effort right there, trying to come up with a loose ball. But you mentioned Drew McDonald, Neil. You know, especially the second time around in conference play, everybody knows everybody's tendencies, the scouting reports, and let's give Oakland some credit. They found some ways to shut down Drew McDonald, but there's still plenty of time in this game, and he'll, somewhere along the line, Drew McDonald is probably going to unleash some of his scoring prowess in the paint and also on the perimeter.
Daniels. Garnett in the air, found Hayes. That floater won't go. Faulkner always looking to run.
Good kick out.
Murray.
See, sometimes you overhelp defensively, and you have to know where the shooters are. If you overhelp and try to almost double team the penetrating on the drive, you're going to get kickouts for the easy threes.
He's got 9. 3 field goals beyond the arc.
You have to know who the shooters are. That's one of them right there, Cole Murray.
Of course, the recognition from the freshmen, this class, highly touted. And they're playing without Jalen Tate, too, the star out of Columbus. Played the first 8 games, coming back from a broken wrist. It's a big finish by Daniels, and he'll go to the line for one more.
Well, the juniors, Daniels that time. Watch a little hesitation and then a little quick spurt right up through the defender to get the finish right there. Daniels, the junior out of Westland, Michigan. You know, there was a game, I think it was about 3 games ago, where him and Coach Campy had a little conversation as he came out of the game. And I think both of them were mad, pulled him out of the game. But you know what? That's what happens in the game of basketball. It's an emotional sport.
He says he's our spiritual leader.
Yes, sir.
This redshirt junior from John Glenn High School. See Garrett sits. Maxwell returning for Northern Kentucky. Just past the midpoint of this second half. And as fire wagon changes continue. Dorsey Walker for Brock. Careful with his minutes with 4 fouls. And the Norse, they can have their 3-point lead cut to 2 here.
So this game has become a little choppy right now. A lot of free throws being shot, a lot of dead ball situations. A lot of free throws being shot, so you're trying to find a way with a little bit over 9 minutes remaining in this basketball game to get a little more rhythm offensively if you're either one of these teams.
Northern Kentucky has led throughout this second half. Maxwell turned it over.
Telegraphed that pass. Good defensive hands up in the shot. Dorsey Walker again, handling the ball at the point.
His assist-to-turnover ratio is the best in the conference. So they're not shy on letting him handle in the crucial minutes without Stevie Clark. That runner from Daniels. The rebound collected. Garnett. Faulkner. Swiped away by Neely. Martez Walker. And 1.
Martez Walker. 6'6", 185, the ability on the fly to be able to adjust in midair. A Euro step right at the basket. Great finish there.
Jumper has not worked tonight. The layups have. And he's tied the game. 11 for Walker, the 3rd to reach double figures for Oakland. 56 all with 8.5 remaining.
Oh boy.
Neely the steal. The lead for the Golden Grizzlies. Their first since late in the first half, and a timeout for the Norse. They've done it with defense. They're back up by 2. Their diminutive backcourts.
Well, I think 2 things are happening right now for Oakland. They're finding a way to be aggressive with the basket. But you mentioned it, Neil. I think defensively, and there's the swipe right there. That's an excellent move right there to come up with that loose ball. Neely, the freshman, finishing at the basket. Cut this lead to 2.
Daniels as well. And the Walker three-point play as Oakland back up by 2. At the rim, McDonald's had it flushed away. And 13 in the previous meeting. Very quiet tonight in terms of point production. Lead has changed hands 7 times. Oakland back up by 2 inside 8. Double team comes on Hayes. Stay with the Grizzlies. And we go to the under 8. Jostling for position within the top 3 of the conference. Oakland by 2. Kentucky with the surge late in the first half. They've led much of this second half, but trailing by 2. And Oakland, essentially, they've become a mid-major power-up within the Midwest, Dave. Their success in the Summit League, 3 NCAA tournaments, and here in the Horizon. Division II program up until '99. Seeing that transition, Greg Campy. Just 1 on the shot clock, and a violation.
Well, we talked about the inability, and it's happened all evening long, the ability when the shot clock gets low, how Oakland and Coach Campy is going to get some offense out of it. That time a shot clock violation. That asked me right now, this is going to be anybody's ball game right now. I still think Northern Kentucky, Drew McDonald's going to have to find a way to get on track here offensively to help this basketball team win this basketball game.
He's had a game where he was scoreless. That was against West Virginia, and 2 games with just 2 points. He's got 4 tonight. Williams. That was what was working when they were in rhythm offensively. And will stay with Northern Kentucky. Just over 7 minutes remaining. It's been fits and starts for much of this second half.
Well, there's the action underneath the basket right there. And there's a little post feed. Carson Williams creating some space, getting the defender on his back.
We both watched him on film, but seeing him in person for the first time, very impressive.
And Coach Brandon told us this afternoon a little bit that, you know, when you look at him, you're not going to be overly impressed with his athletic ability. He said that's okay. Kid's got a big heart, finds a way to get the work done.
That's the free throw. Athletic ability be darned when you win Mr. Basketball in the state. You're doing something right. Missed the free throw.
He's shooting 69% from the free throw line, 56 of 81. That number probably has to improve a little bit. He's going to be in there late game situations. Going to have to knock these free throws down.
Hits that one. 1-point game.
A little pressure here.
Next foul from each team. Both go to the 1-and-1. Neely, who started at the point tonight. No Stevie Clark. Think about this Oakland lineup. The transfers, Iowa State, Oklahoma State. Martez Walker from Texas. Here's Dorsey Walker. It's off on a 3. Hayes inside. Yes. End of the line.
Well, second chance opportunities. Dorsey Walker took a long range shot. Long shot produces long rebounds. Jalen Hayes, the ability to find the grip on the basketball. An opportunity here for that old-fashioned three-point play to push this lead to 4 points for the Grizzlies.
They've been big on the glass. They're +6 right now. And Northern Kentucky's only twice truly lost the rebound battle this year. Rims in the free throw. Hayes, a big effort tonight. He's got a double-double. Lead is 4. This Northern Kentucky team, late November, late December, won 6 in a row. Trying to eliminate a 2-game losing streak. Williams using the pivot. Brock can't believe it on the body. They say the contact was there, and it's his 5th.
Well, you'll see right here, it wasn't the block that caused the foul, it was the lower body jumping right into him, and that was on Brock, and that'll be his 5th foul. You know, one thing worth mentioning is this game unfolds towards the finish here. And when I'm speaking about Jalen Hayes, he's fouled out also of 6 games this season thus far. He's got 3 right now. He's got to be a key factor. They need him on the basketball floor.
So Brechting is back. That's the 3rd time Brock has fouled out this season. Never really got into it because of the early foul trouble as Williams rattles in the first. $19 for Carson Williams. Stays that way. Hayes rebounds.
So as we head down the stretch right now, every offensive possession for both of these teams right now. You see a little change in defense here from John Brandon, a little 1-3-1, trapping on the wings here. See how Oakland handles it, see if they can find a way to penetrate, get it close to the basket. That'll work.
Brechting with a great find to the cutter, Williams. Walker, rather. 63-58.
Got to get the ball moving side to side right now if you're Northern Kentucky. The ball's getting stuck on one side of the floor. Now you're down to 10 on the shot clock. Got to create something offensively.
Holland, the running right-hander, but it wasn't off the cylinder. They wave it off as Williams tapped it back in.
Excellent call by Bill Eck. Was right on it, had the angle. You can see right here, it's not out of the cylinder. Excellent call by the officials.
3 Golden Grizzlies in double figures tonight. Stood the huge surge late in the first half. Hung tough early in the second to now lead by 5. Walker short on the 3. Garnett saving it to McDonald.
You always have to be careful when you try to save that ball. That one was a little bit off target. There's Garnett right at it. Didn't get it to go, but look who's there trying to retrieve those offensive rebounds.
8th for Williams, but he's in a straitjacket of black.
5 defenders surrounded him right there. That's where your height does not play an advantage right there.
Neely. You see Walker, Hayes, Brechting, Martez Walker. 5 for Oakland.
Yeah.
Spin and touch from Hayes.
Little isolation on the inside for Hayes. Little clear out situation, tough to guard when he gets that close to the basket.
17 points, 11 rebounds for Hayes. His 4th double-double of the season. Scored in double figures, but 2 games this year. The baby hook turnaround, and McDonald goes. He's got 6. Lead back down to 5 for Oakland as we go under 4. John Brannon will try to find a solution as the Golden Grizzlies have resurged here late. Boy, has he come on strong late in the second half. 17 points, 11 rebounds. They lead the charge in the front court for Oakland. They're up by 5 with 3:53 remaining.
Well, Hayes is built the way his body is and his mentality to be a finisher towards the end of the game. Has played 35 minutes tonight, just about every minute of this particular ball game. But they're going to need him big time here to make sure he takes control of the basketball game late in this game.
Now the foul here. Levon Holland, who's the first of 4 fouls for Northern Kentucky. Brock has already fouled out. Murray with 3, Garnett with 3. Braylon Neely.
It's worth noting, Oakland, very good free throw shooting team, close to 77% on the year.
They were 6th in the country last year.
Correct.
Top scoring offense, of course, they had Kay Felder, now with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Conference Player of the Year, average 24 a game. Williams sits. Neely, the freshman, starting in place of Stevie Clark tonight, his first start. Daniels returns for Brechting. He's played 19 solid minutes. Lead its largest of the second half for Oakland at 6. Led by as many as 14 tonight. Split the pair. Murray, Garnett, McDonald, Hollins, and Faulkner for Northern Kentucky. With 3.5. Hollins! On the floor, they say. Explosive play by the transfer.
That's just being aggressive at the basket right there. Terry Weimer decided that call was put him in a one-on-one situation and not a 2-point to a 3-point opportunity right here.
Both teams in the bonus. Holland hits the first free throw.
Holland shoots as many free throws and is at the top of the, in terms of the team number, in terms of the number of attempts from the free throw line. 60 of 86, 69% shooter.
Taking on a bigger role this year as a leader. Second year in the program. Grew up in Louisville. Went to Kansas for junior college. Full court press. Oakland's lead is 4.
Got a freshman handling the basketball against this pressure, late game situations. Growing up in a hurry is Braylon Neely.
Dorsey Walker. Too easy on the baseline. And a timeout as the Grizzlies lead is back to 6.
So just a good, aggressive move. No help side defense at all from the Norse. Easy opportunity there for Dorsey Walker to put his team up 6 here with 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
He's got 21. More Horizon League action coming your way on Sunday here on Spectrum Sports. Detroit Mercy getting thumped tonight at Wright State. We'll take on this Northern Kentucky Norse. Coverage begins at 1 on your home for local sports, Spectrum Sports. All polished and primed for the new year. We'll see Dave Sakuti, our great crew. Rick Campy. This team was going to be pretty good. And hit a little blip over the last weekend, losing 2 home games. How will we deal with it? Strong start. The surge from the Norse, but now up 6 late. Here just south of the river. Garnett, McDonald for 3. Nope. Neely off to Daniels.
Nice job by Oakland, securing the basketball. Everybody's got a rebound right now if you're going to maintain this lead, if you're the Grizzlies. Little high post action right here, a little ball screen coming up. Neely's got to make sure he penetrates to the basket. Shot clock at 8.
The freshman needs to do something. He turns it over. Hollins into the open floor. Murray. We got to push inside. And it will go on Garnett. John Brannon incensed.
Both coaches active on the sidelines. That guy right there is always active on the sidelines. Greg Campy.
And the head coach since 1985. The free throw is good from Daniels. He's got 5. Lead is 7. And now 8. With 2.5 remaining. So what's the answer if you're Northern Kentucky? You need a lot in a short amount of time.
Well, now you got to go a little quicker right now. With only 2:20 to go in this basketball game, down by 8. You can't afford to take a whole lot of time, but you still need good shots. There's plenty of time to get good shots as well.
Faulkner tied up from Daniels. And the jump and the arrow favor Oakland.
And now you got to keep your pressure up as well. But there's the call right there. Good job by our camera people there. Getting a good look at that jump ball situation. Alternate possession goes to the Grizzlies here. Got to think about double teaming, and that's what you see right here, a little running trap situation. Oakland will have to have the poise right now to handle the ball with vicious pressure coming from the Norse.
Dorsey Walker. Look inside, Hayes. He got slashed by Maxwell.
There's something to be said for good interior passing that time. Hayes got his hands on the ball there. Talk about the length sometimes. I know they list Jalen Hayes. That's 6'7". We talked about it earlier. Great wingspan, the ability to get his hands on a lot of basketballs when they're roaming around the court.
Hayes missing the free throw. Lead is 8. Well, it's the sign of a veteran-laden group, one with a lot of experience. You start well. You have the emotional pendulum swing. Find yourself trailing for a good portion of this second half, and then stick with the game plan, and they've found their way into a 9-point lead with 1:48 left.
Well, we talked about getting that swagger and that confidence back, and you know, it's hard to believe, but a basketball team can lose a lot of confidence in a short period of time, and you got to find a way to get it back. Basketball is a game of emotions and confidence, and your shooting, ball handling, your defensive package. It really falls upon your mental toughness. John Brandon trying to find some toughness right now from his basketball team. They need some quick scores.
Turned 43 on Wednesday, John Brandon. To celebrate a birthday victory. A long way back here is Faulkner, well off. The defense has been superb for Oakland the last 7 minutes of the basketball game. They're gonna pick up their 15th win. They started 10-3, their best non-conference run in 17 years. Lost a buzzer beater to Northeastern. Michigan State beat them. They were in pretty much every game of that non-conference. What a finish by Daniels. Tell you, may not show in terms of the gaudy numbers, but Daniels, Neely have played well as a backcourt.
Absolutely.
That's a big three from Holland to keep life alive. And a timeout for Northern Kentucky. 73-65. 49.6 remaining. Now be sure to like and follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Spectrum Sports OH, on Facebook by searching Spectrum Sports Ohio, and on Twitter at Spec Sports OH.
But you know, Neil, when we were talking to Coach Campy this afternoon, you know, he talked about how he was trying to build his current basketball team, and with his schedule, he mentioned a couple games. He's not afraid to play anybody, anywhere, and it helps you, I think, when you get into conference play, because you find out about the team, especially when you play in some tough environments. Had a big win over Georgia, goes without Bowen wins.
Yep.
But, you know, it doesn't matter. In the Horizon League, as he found out last week, anybody can slip in there and take a win away from you.
Played at the Great Alaska Shootout around Thanksgiving. Lost a close one to Nevada. Had a second half lead there. Eric Musselman coaching the Wolfpack, and they are a very good team out of the Mountain West. So an 8-point lead with 49.6 left on the clock. Northern Kentucky has the arrow. They'll pick up full court. Dorsey Walker. The Martez Walker. And the reach. Almost Holland with a steal.
That's exactly what you have to do. in order to have an opportunity to win this game, Northern Kentucky's going to have to extend the game. And how do you do that? You got to make fouls, send them to the free throw line, test their ability to make free throws here, and hope that they don't. You have opportunities to come down and score with twos and some possible threes.
As the Horizon League pairings shake out, of course, you have a travel partner essentially. So
yes,
Detroit Mercy comes here Sunday. Oakland will head up to take on the Raiders of Wright State. Once Garnett's night is done, with 2 big dunks, kind of swinging momentum at times in this one, but finishes with 6 points and 3 rebounds. Says Walker. 15, a quiet 15, I would say. Some baskets at key times. This will stay with the Norse down 10. They led by 4 at the half off that sensational 29-11 run, but here again talking about John Brannon's team and the consistency of having success dealing with it,
right,
and continuing that at the crucial moments. I'm gonna check the monitor here to make sure they got the possession right.
Under 2 minutes in terms of out of bounds situation off of who have the ability to come over, and Bill Eck and Terry Weimer are going to take a close look at this.
Well, the best thing for a younger team to get right back at it, and they'll have a shot with Detroit Mercy coming in on Sunday.
You know, at this point in the season, and I know I speak for probably every college basketball coach in the country, there's nothing good about a loss at this point in the season.
No.
You're trying to find a way to improve not only your wins in the win column, but how you're playing. And this has been one of those games for John Brannon's team when he goes back and reviews this film. It's not going to be exactly what he expected his team to do. Did that 8-day layoff have something to do with it? Maybe,
yeah.
But they got off to a good start for the most part after they withstood Oakland's barrage of scoring early on.
Just seemed like the energy and surge they had, Dave, for the back half of the first half suddenly vanished.
Yep.
And I want credit to Oakland there, but
they
didn't have the same intensity level that maybe we saw that turned this game around in the first half.
You know, as John Brennan told me, he knows this team, Oakland, was going to come in here and play with a sense of urgency.
Hits his first 3 of the night.
Got to foul quickly.
And they foul Daniels. Go to the line with 8 points. This would be the first 3-game losing streak of the season for Northern Kentucky. Nick Daniels been struggling shooting the jumper. He found his way into some scoring tonight in other ways. Steals, some layups,
right,
some big buckets. Missed that free throw. Keep things on edge for the moment. With the lead at 7. Season best is 12 points. Daniels has 9. McDonald. 2 more. And now they'll foul Hayes, so it's double bonus. Holland with the foul. Be the 15th win for Oakland. And a timeout, it appears.
Or was it a foul out situation there? I'm not sure, Neil.
Yeah, good call. It is. Now Holland had 5. So Maxwell, the sophomore who came in from Daytona State, will take his place for the final 24.7. Hayes at the line. 18 and 11.
A good night for the left-hander.
7th in the conference in scoring, 6th in rebounds. Had to redshirt his freshman year. Mono took over and made the all-freshman team in 15. Second team performer last year.
But he knows his role on this basketball team. He knows where to get his shots. He's not that perimeter shooter, so he knows he needs to get inside. Drew McDonald, long range.
Does not have the scoring touch tonight. Got a quick 5 here late as he ties up Martez Walker. Donald's third foul.
When we talked to Coach Campy, you know, and we talked about the number of years he coached, but he was talking about his stay at Oakland. And, you know, it works both ways. He set this standard at Oakland right now that everybody administratively, fan base, community, they all expect you to win, and they want you to win big. And when you lose those 2 games last week, it throws a little jolt into the system. But boy, they came out and played some ferocious defense at times tonight, and that was probably the difference maker for this basketball team to come away with a big win.
Well, think about it. They've played postseason basketball, including 3 NCAA tournaments, 7 of the last 8 years. CIT, Vegas 16. They passed their first test of adversity here tonight, overcoming the surge by Northern Kentucky at the end of the first half and then taking over from the midpoint of half number 2 on to win 79-70 here in Highland Heights. To 5-2 in conference play on the 15th win for Oakland. Northern Kentucky has dropped 3 in a row. Back with more after this.